Alrighty, so as many of you know, they updated Fort Solgris, and they have added a 6th stage to the gold coin dungeon. Gold dungeon, not gold coin dungeon. But if you want to farm gold, obviously you want to farm the gold dungeon. With the 6th stage getting added, obviously there's a whole new set of enemies. They have their own set of gimmicks and everything like that, which luckily there's not anything crazy here. The real only big gimmick is that the Spirit Harvester in the middle on the Phase 2 can't actually be debuffed, so that does kind of hinder a little bit of how this setup works. But I have found a post on Twitter from a JP user. I have no idea how to say that name, and the English handle is just a bunch of letters and numbers, so no idea how to say it or anything like that. But they have found this same setup right here that I'm using, and I just think that it's fantastic. I've been looking for a a gold farming stage 6 team for a little while, ever since it came out, and this is the only one that I've seen so far that actually looks like it's good and works. He does go into a little bit more detail about equipment and stuff like that, which is the one downside. This is the only thing you'll actually have to worry about. I will stop the auto farm after this run, but you can see it's pretty consistent. In Phase 1, you basically just debuff with Marmus, and because Marmus is getting a bunch of ultimate move gauge, you're getting ultimate move gauge with the Lost Vein as well. Tyr will weak point the first set of enemies and kill them easily with one shot. And then the one enemy that comes down still technically in Phase 1, he just gets single targeted by Tyr. And then on the final phase, if you have Marmus cards, he will use them. Like I said, you cannot actually debuff the middle guy, so any defense-related stat lowers or crit resistance lowers or anything don't go through, which is unfortunate because that is the one thing holding it back, is that Lost Vein is a bit old. This is the blue Lost Vein, so his stats are a little bad, let's be honest. And his crit chance is what's kind of holding him back, because initially, if you just use a regular attack crit damage set, his crits are very inconsistent, so I actually had an extra attack crit UR gear set. I know that sounds crazy, to have just an extra one for melee, because I have 5 sets for some reason, but I had one with pierce rate rolls just for a fun set, because it's weird that a lot of Meliodases that come out have pierce rolls, or pierce cards, so I wanted to have a pierce roll set to kind of meme with it a little bit, but I have since repurposed that, and if we look at Lost Vein now, I have him at 113% crit chance, which I think I have still seen him miss a crit once or twice, maybe, and that was 50 runs or something like that. It was very, very inconsistent as far as very inconsistent with him winning. The not critting part only happened once or twice. I remember seeing it once, but I wasn't paying attention to it the whole time. So this is just an attack crit set. I have done 3 crit chance rolls in the middle here. I basically was just re-rolling the whole thing because it was all pierce rate, but I got a good attack roll on the top and bottom, so I went ahead and kept those. And then I did the same thing for this one as well. It just ended up working out that I had decent attack rolls on the top and bottom as well, but pretty good crit chance rolls in the middle. Like I said, he did miss a crit, so I could potentially increase it a little bit more. But that is the one caveat, is that the gear for him is not normal. You would not be able to just be okay, I'm going to use this team, let me throw an attack crit set on. You kind of need to have a little bit of specificity with the rolls. That is not the right word, but you got to put a little bit of work into it, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I do think that you're going to need the Holy Relic for him, because obviously the damage is kind of what matters. You need to one-shot that final phase, because if you get bad luck and you draw too many Marmus cards, I'll see on that final phase you'll debuff with Marmus if you have it. He'll attack with the ultimate, and if it doesn't crit the middle one, he doesn't die. Which I have seen him crit and kill, or not crit and kill before, but if he doesn't die, which is definitely possible if he doesn't crit, you will end up attacking with Marmus with his regular attack card, because he doesn't use that in the first or second phase, and then it does no damage, and then you have to do another turn, which is not what you want to see. So this is the setup for the team. The guy in the Twitter post, which I'll leave down in the description if you guys want to head over and like the tweet and everything, because honestly, super helpful. Glad people are experimenting and stuff like that, helping the community out by posting teams and stuff like this. But he's using the Ragnarok card set. I don't necessarily know that it's needed for the most part, because you are getting 6 debuffs on turn 1, because Tyr puts 3 debuffs on. You're debuffing with Marmus turn 1, so that's 6 stacks that you're going to get for this card set. But I don't think that there's a card set to like increase crit chance or anything like that, so it's unfortunate. I don't necessarily know that there's a better card set to use in this scenario, because crit chance is the only thing that's really hindering this from winning 100% of the time, and it's just because of Lostfane. So you do need, I think, this entire setup. I don't know that there's much you can really sub out here, because in the old one that I was using for Stage 5, it was Brunhild here, and then Green Elizabeth here, because she would also get extra ultimate move gauge, and it would basically work the same way. Brunhild would weak point in phase 1, kill and everything, and then you would ult with Lostfane, but those were weaker enemies, so it was very, very consistent, and the only thing that would screw you up is if you got too many card merges. Sometimes Elizabeth would attack and not kill, because she's weak, but that's the setup. Marmus is not on any specific gear. I have him on like one of these SSR 15% sets that they give out during the festivals. I have Tyr on an attack crit set, which is not even like crazy good. I mean, it's 14% plus, which is good, of course, but it's not like 15% maxed out gear or anything. And of course, I do have him invested into, but you know, you don't need like ultimate levels on him or anything. If you do get lucky and you merge into a bunch of cards, I have seen him ult in the final phase and just immediately kill, because his ultimate is obviously way better. But yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, so far this is super consistent. I'm liking how it's working out so far, and obviously you want to be able to farm the highest level stage. It was kind of weird initially. The gold to stamina consumption wasn't correct, and it was actually not as good to farm this stage, but they have since fixed that, and so far, it seems really good. I mean, that was 50-something runs. It took maybe an hour and a half or so to do, and I got like almost 10 mil gold, which seems like a big improvement as far as I can tell. That's with gold food, of course, but, you know, obviously more gold is good because you're going to be needing to upgrade gear and, you know, gear gacha and blah, blah, blah. Like, you always need gold. So, as far as I'm concerned, everything is very consistent. I mean, you need Marmus Relic, but that one's not hard to get. The only caveat could be the Lostfane Relic, which it's for Nidhogg, and Nidhogg is not like the most difficult anymore. He is still hard, don't get me wrong. Like, newer players and stuff are probably not going to have a great time with that. But I think the gear for Lostfane is probably going to be the biggest hindrance. And if you can see in the Twitter post, he actually said that he did, if you translate this, I'm not 100% sure because it says critical hit, but you can see he has engraved R pieces, which turn them into SR pieces. So if you want to, you can definitely do it just like this and just get 2 pieces of rare gear, re-roll them with gold, because that's obviously a lot cheaper, get good rolls on them, and then he engraved them. I don't know if you need to engrave them or not, but he did, and then that will just give you the sub-stat rolls that you need to be able to crit and everything, and it should still work out just fine. So, yeah, honestly, super nice. Happy to hopefully spread this around. I mean, I hope that they wouldn't get mad for me making a video on it or anything, but it's happened in the past. But either way, go over and show some love. Go and like the tweet and everything. I'll leave it down in the description. I'm just happy to finally have a decent team that I can farm with, because the new stage is, you know, a little bit more difficult. You got to come up with a new, you know, team setup and everything, because it's a little bit different than the previous one, but working well. So thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. I will see you guys tomorrow.